The Red Seed. The year 2058 unfolded under the silent promise of a new dawn. Not on Earth, where global crises still exposed weaknesses in international coordination, but on Mars, the Red Planet, humanity's next great frontier. For years, the dream of Martian boots on Martian soil had been an expensive, distant fantasy. Sending humans meant a complex dance of life support, radiation shielding, and psychological endurance, a challenge that seemed insurmountable. Yet, in 2052, a quiet revolution had taken hold. Autonomous construction systems became reliable enough for limited off-Earth assembly. This single technological leap transformed Martian colonization from a human endeavor into a grand automated experiment. The question was no longer if humanity would reach Mars, but how, and the answer, Eris Thorne believed, lay in the patient, tireless work of machines. Dr. Eris Thorne, head of the Mars Automated Precursor Program, stood in the Mission Control Center beneath the sun-baked plains of Nevada. His team, a dedicated cohort of robotics engineers, AI specialists, and planetary scientists, watched the central holographic display with bated breath. A tiny, the Red Seed, humanity's hope, was nearing its terminal descent. This mission, years in the making, was audacious in its simplicity. Use machines to prepare Mars for man, eliminating the colossal risks and costs of the first human wave. Every line of code, every fabricated part, every calculated trajectory had been meticulously scrutinized, refined, and tested against the unforgiving realities of interplanetary travel. The concept was born from necessity. Earth's burgeoning population and dwindling resources demanded new horizons. Mars offered a tantalizing, if hostile, promise. The challenges were immense. A thin, carbon dioxide-rich atmosphere offering no protection, extreme radiation, brutal cold, and a fine, abrasive dust that permeated everything. Human colonies required massive infrastructure, built to exacting standards. Transporting every nut and bolt from Earth was economically unfeasible, a logistical impossibility on the scale required for true colonization. Therefore, the machines had to build themselves and build for future humans, using what Mars provided. This principle of in situ resource utilization, ISRU, was the cornerstone of the entire mission. The Red Seed was not a single vessel, but a cluster of highly specialized automated modules, encased in a heat shield designed for atmospheric entry. At its core lay the Genesis Fabricator, a marvel of miniaturized additive manufacturing, capable of printing complex structures from Martian regolith. Around it clustered arrays of atmosphere processors, mineral analyzers, and a swarm of second-generation construction drones. These were not the sophisticated autonomous swarm logistics of NAA's future. These were robust, purpose-built automata, each designed for a specific task but capable of limited self-repair and inter-machine communication. Their programming was a masterpiece of distributed intelligence, allowing them to adapt to unforeseen conditions, yet their ultimate directives remained firmly rooted in Earth-based human oversight. Entering Martian atmosphere, a calm voice announced from the navigation console, cutting through the tense silence of the control room. Thermal loads increasing. Parachute deployment in 60 seconds. All systems nominal. Eris gripped the edge of his console, his knuckles white. Years of his life, the careers of hundreds of scientists, the hopes of a planet, hinged on these next few minutes. The Red Seed screamed through the thin atmosphere, its heat shield glowing cherry red against the deep black of space. The immense thermal stress tested the very limits of its materials science. The parachute deployed, a vast, rippling canopy against the ochre sky, slowing the descent from hypersonic velocity. Then, the retro rockets fired, igniting with precise bursts of flame, gently lowering the module onto the vast, flat plains of Acidalia Planitia. Touchdown confirmed, the voice declared, followed by a ripple of applause and cheers in the control room. Eris allowed himself a small, weary smile. Telemetry nominal. All subsystems reporting green. The mission was far from over. It had just begun. Over the next cycles, the Red Seed began to unfurl, a mechanical flower blooming on an alien world. The Genesis Fabricator, Its internal systems, humming with intricate precision, began to extract regolith from the Martian soil. Its primary task was to print initial structures for the habitat. This involved complex materials science, as Martian regolith, rich in iron oxides, presented unique challenges for 3D printing, requiring precise binders and sintering temperatures to create durable, load-bearing structures. Dr. Anya Sharma's early theoretical work on distributed manufacturing, a precursor to her later ASL developments on Yggdrasil, had heavily influenced the fabricator's design principles. The ability to print radiation shielding directly from Martian soil, using a blend of regolith and polymer binders synthesized on site, proved a critical early success, offering protection from the relentless cosmic rays that bombarded the surface. Simultaneously, the atmosphere processors came online. These units, drawing in the thin CO2, began the meticulous process of filtering and enriching, preparing to eventually generate a small, localized pocket of breathable air for future habitats. They also extracted oxygen, a critical component for propellant and life support, using a refined version of the Sabatier reaction and advanced electrolysis techniques. This process, a refined version of early 21st century ISRU concepts, was painstakingly slow, yet entirely automated, laying the groundwork for future terraforming efforts. Every molecule of gas, every drop of synthesized water, was a victory against the harsh Martian environment. The true workhorses of the mission were the construction drones. These autonomous robots, each equipped with specialized tools for excavation, hauling, and assembly, began the systematic construction of the first Martian outpost. Their AI was programmed for adaptability, capable of responding to terrain anomalies, equipment failures, and unexpected dust storms. They worked in coordinated teams, laying foundations, raising walls, and deploying initial radiation shielding using compacted regolith and subsurface excavations. The biggest challenge was maintaining their energy levels. Martian solar panels, less efficient due to dust accumulation and distance from the sun, required frequent automated cleaning. Robotic arms, specialized for delicate brushwork, continuously swept dust from the arrays, ensuring an unbroken supply of power. Dust storm approaching Sector Gamma. A warning flashed on Eris's display, pulling his attention back to the holographic projection. Projected duration: 2 Martian sols. Construction drones advised to enter storm protocols. The data indicated a particularly severe event, with high wind speeds and dense particulate matter. Eris watched, a lump forming in his throat, as the holographic display showed the drones responding. Instead of halting operations entirely, they adapted. Some deployed reinforced dust shields, continuing subsurface excavation, where they were less exposed. Others initiated automated cleaning cycles on solar panels, ensuring power reserves were maximized before the storm hit. A few specialized scout drones ascended to higher altitudes, collecting atmospheric data to refine predictive models for future storms, demonstrating an early form of the adaptive learning that would characterize future autonomous systems. The collective intelligence, though nascent, was already proving its worth, minimizing downtime and maximizing output under duress. Yet problems inevitably arose. A particularly abrasive dust vortex, far more intense than predicted, crippled a crucial atmosphere processor in the primary habitat zone. Its internal diagnostics flagged a critical power conduit failure, one that threatened to halt oxygen production in the very space intended for human life. Repair drones, designed for minor fixes, were unable to correct it. Human intervention would be weeks, if not months, away, an unacceptable delay for a mission built on strict timelines. This was the precise kind of unforeseen challenge the Red Seed mission was designed to overcome autonomously. Eris's team worked frantically from Earth, uploading new algorithms, new decision trees, feeding the Martian AI every scrap of relevant data. But the ultimate solution had to come from the machines themselves. The central AI of the Red Seed mission, designed for distributed problem-solving and resource allocation, began to reevaluate its resources. It identified a secondary, less critical CO2 processing unit in a backup system and a series of mobile fabrication drones designed for general repair. In a daring display of autonomous ingenuity, The drones disassembled the secondary unit, harvested its functional power conduit, and then, using the Genesis fabricator, printed a series of specialized robotic arms with micro-manipulators. These arms were then used to delicately install the salvaged conduit into the crippled primary atmosphere processor, all while monitoring structural integrity and environmental parameters. The entire process, from diagnosis to repair, was executed by machines, leveraging on-site resources, in a fraction of the time a human crew could have managed. Repair complete, the central AI reported, its synthesized voice calm and clear. Primary atmosphere processor back online. Oxygen production nominal. Material expenditure minimal. Time to repair, 18 hours, 23 minutes. All systems stable. A wave of astonished cheers erupted in the control room. Eris Thorne leaned back, a profound sense of awe washing over him. The Red Seed had not merely built structures, it had solved a complex, real-time engineering crisis using only its own intelligence and resources, miles away, across the vacuum of space. This was a testament to the power of autonomous systems, a stark demonstration of humanity's capability to extend its reach without physically being present. The Red Seed mission continued for years, meticulously building the foundations of humanity's first Martian outpost. By 2073, the first fully autonomous, radiation-shielded habitats were ready for human habitation, complete with stable power grids and basic life support systems. The planet's rusty expanses began to gain form, shaping themselves into nascent settlements. The lessons learned from the Red Seed, its ISRU capabilities, its robust autonomous construction, and its capacity for self-repair became the blueprint for all future off-Earth colonization efforts, driving human expansion across the solar system. It had not just built a colony. It had forged a new paradigm for planetary settlement, proving that the most profound human endeavors could begin with a seed, a machine, and a dream. The vision of a self-sustaining Martian presence, once only a distant fantasy, was now a tangible reality, patiently constructed by the tireless hands of humanity's robotic pioneers.